The next thing we're going to talk about as far as composition goes is going to be the rule of thirds. So especially in a landscape, the rules of thirds has to do with the horizon line. We can demonstrate this with our paper here. We decided to make the very farthest background on this black page, and we decided to make this our horizon line with our brown ground. What we can do is you can put that horizon right in the middle of the page, but when you do that, you're creating complete symmetry, which tends to be kind of boring to look at. So in the rule of thirds, what you want to do is actually lower your horizon line somewhere in the bottom third of the picture, which makes it more interesting. Or you can actually take your horizon line and raise it into the top third of the picture, which also makes your composition more interesting. And we can see that Clarence Carter has done the same thing with a lot of his images. If we look here at this study for transections number 1, we can see that he's placed the horizon line here using very much mathematical perspective. So he's got the horizon line here, the vanishing point beyond it, and we can see that that horizon line is definitely in the top third of the painting, or drawing in this case. So it's interesting to think about Clarence Carter. He knows when to break the rules. You can see that here in his red mandala. In these images, he's taken the shape of the circle, which is the mandala. In Eastern art, the mandala is often a halo, which indicates some type of spiritual power that the person holds, and it's also a concept of illustration, a physical illustration of the universe, which is symbolized with the radial symmetry, goes out in all directions of the circle. He's also superimposed this radial symmetry of the circle, which is the same in all directions, with the egg. So the egg, the ovoid form, just like the human form and the human face, exhibits bilateral symmetry, which means you can draw a line down the middle and it's the same on both sides. But if you draw a line across horizontally onto this ovoid, it's not the same on both sides like the circle is. So he's superimposed these two symmetries, the radial symmetry and the bilateral symmetry, in these mandala forms. But what's interesting about this is he's chosen to place that seed of light, the origin of that relationship between the circle, the symbol of the universe, and the egg, Carter's symbol for life, starts at this seed point of light, which is placed right in the middle of this composition. So there's something compelling about it, even though it's completely symmetrical, and that might be from that juxtaposition of these two different symmetries that are radiating out. But what is also really interesting is as Carter moved on in his series of mandalas, he actually started putting a very low horizon line. So even though the top of this is very symmetrical, the placement of the mandala is asymmetrical. So he's taken it and placed the green mandala in the ovoid form in the top third of the painting, and then he's taken this very low horizon line and placed it in the bottom third of the painting. So here he is exhibiting that rule of thirds. I would like to thank all of our sponsors: the Scioto Foundation, the Ohio Arts Council, the National Endowment for the Arts, Southern Ohio Medical Center here in Portsmouth, the Richard D. Martins Foundation, and then also the City of Portsmouth.